Welcome everybody to Gadbod Gaming. We're going over some Pauper EDH today. This is a new spoiler from the Avatar Magic the Gathering set. Longshot Rebel Bowman. It's a 4-cost, 3 in a red, legendary creature, human rebel ally, 3/3. With reach, no non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Longshot deals 2 damage to each opponent. So, why I picked this guy for a video was it has 2 big abilities on it. The mana reduction makes all your 2-cost spells now 1, which is great. Makes everything cheaper. And it's in the command zone, so you can always have access to that. And then the second one, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, deal 2 damage to each opponent. It's very much, if not the same wording as a black-red commander, which the Black Waltz number 3. But the biggest difference between the two, besides the colors, is that reduction in non-creature spells. Because it's not just instant sorceries or artifacts and enchantments. It's all of it. So that's why I went with this. Now, go over to Moxfield real quick, show you the deck that I built out. And here it is. It's a Longshot Rebel Bowman. So, they don't have it on Moxfield yet, so I'm using Cadeas as the commander. But we're going to go over some creatures. We'll do the tags. So, big thing in this one is this is going to be a pinger deck. So, our pingers for our creatures are the Flamesmith, whose instants and sorceries deals 1 to each opponent. You have the Archer, non-creatures, and then 1 damage to each opponent. You have Gutter Snipe, who deals 2 damage on instants and sorceries to each opponent. You have Flame Breather, who deals 1 damage to each opponent for non-creature. You have the Gatekeeper, who deals 1 damage to each opponent when a creature comes in. You have Elder, which produces the Wizard that deals 1 damage to each opponent on non-creature. And then you have Thermal Alchemist. Whenever you cast instant sorcery, untap it, and then you tap him to do 1 damage to each opponent. You also have the same ability with the Catapult. And then you have Roast Master, who's doing 1 damage to each opponent when a creature comes in. Now, also in some of the pinger stuff that we have here is Sulfuric Blast, which is going to do 2 damage to each creature and each player. So that spell right there is going to only cost you 3, and then deal a total of 4 damage to each player, or to each opponent, 2 to yourself. And then if you cast it on your main phase, it just umps that number. But probably not going to cast it on main phase, just because it'll kill the commander if we do that. We have Sizzle, who's going to do 3 damage to each opponent for 2 mana. So that's right there. That's 9 damage plus the 6 from the commander. So that's going to be a total of 15 damage for 2 mana, which is a really good rate. You have Rain of Embers, which is going to be 1 mana to ping everything. And then we have Raid Bombardment, which you'll go into that one a little later with all the creatures that we're going to be making with our instants and sorceries. So that we have another axis to go to. If we lose our commander, we can go in and just go creature heavy and just attack. We have our Impact Trimmers, which is also going to do the creatures deal 1 damage to each opponent. We have Flame Rift, which deals 5 damage 4 damage to each player, which added on to your commander, that's 6 damage to each opponent. That is a lot of damage for 1 mana. And grab the prize, which if you discard a non-land card, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. So right there, grab the prize is pay 1, discard a card, draw 2, and then deal 4 damage to each opponent for 1 mana. That's a pretty awesome rate. Now, we got ramp. So we got Arcane Signet as a normal. We have Feldar Stone as a normal. Lotus Petal, which is pretty normal. And then we have, now we go into our red. So we have the Battle Hymn and the Brightstone Ritual, which are focusing on us having creatures. Now, the Ritual is focusing on goblins, and then Battle Hymn is just focusing on the creatures that we control. We have the Desperate Ritual, Infernal Plunge, Glimpse of the Impossible, Mana Geyser. We have the Pirate's Pillage and the like. We have Seething Song, Rite of Flame, Prize Statue, Solemn, Simian Spirit Guide, and then we have the Windfall. And one neat one I like is this, we've been caught stealing, or you've been caught stealing. With your commander out, it only costs 1, and then you choose the Bribe the Guards, and that creates a treasure token for each opponent who was dealt damage this turn. Well, with your commander out, you cast this for 1, and then your commander will trigger before the resolving of the spell, and will ping everybody for 2, and then the spell will see that they were pinged, and then you'll get 3 treasures. So before you even do any damage with your commander out, you just pay 1 for this, and then you get 3 treasures. So that's a pretty good, almost like a makeshift dark ritual. Now we have, that's it for the pretty much the ramp package that we're running. Now our removal is a little odd. We're trying to go with removal that's free-ish, or that helps us with the game plan. So Fire Blast, Mind Collapse, and Thunderclap all sacrifice a mountain to deal damage to creature, planeswalker, or player. Now with those, we're mono red, so we don't need a lot of red pips. And with our ramp package, we can have a turn where we just cast a ramp into this, sacrifice go into a draw, and then just keep it going. So it's not too big of a hurt on us as we're going through the game to sack our lands. And then we've already went over some of the Rain of Embers and the Sulfuric Blast. Now, talked about we're going to do some creature making, so that's where our instances come in and sorceries come into play. So our instances, we're trying to stick with where we're mana neutral on the amount of tokens we're making. So like Dragon Fodder costs 2 to make 2. Well, with our commander, it costs 1. So now that's making us positive. It's 1 mana for 2 creatures. So it's 1 mana for 2 creatures entering, which is 2 pings from our creature guys. But it's also just the 1 ping from the commander. So that's where we're trying to go with. Empty the Wardens can just make a ton of goblins, and that just fuels the goblin ritual that we have up here, and then we can just keep going into more and more. So I like it. We have the Forbidden Friendship, we have the Goblin Surprise, Hordeling Outburst, Goblin War Party, Krinko Command, Godoltha Rebirth. We have a couple others in here. Now, a lot of these, if you haven't noticed, are primarily making goblin tokens, which goes into our goblin theme of letting us use that goblin ramp to keep us going. Glimpse of the Impossible is card advantage and ramp. So if we don't want to play the cards and we just let them go into exile at the end step, well, we get the creatures, which does pinging, and then if we need to, we can use them as mana. So it does triple duty, which is nice. You have Experimental Synthesizer, which is giving you card advantage, and then also can make you a token. Just like with the melded moxite. Same deal. It's going to give us some card advantage and then also make us a token when we need to. And then that's going to go into our lands. We just got a lot of filtering or deck thinning. So we have our Surveillance Scry lands. We have, I think, some of the better fetches in the format. So I didn't want to go too heavy on, I didn't want to do like tap lands, but the fetches like Evolving Wilds, your Courtyard, your Overlook, your Theater, and your Terramorphic Expanse, and the new one, Cityscape. They all intertapped, but it gets a land out of your deck. We do have the Surveil lands and the Scry land. And then we took the artifact lands that we could run for the Kadaltha Rebirth and for some of our card advantage that actually goes in and is sacrifice a creature or sacrifice a land or artifact. I loved these depletion counter ones back in the day, and I'm glad I get to use it again. It gets you to 3 mana on turn 2, which is great, and then it just continues to keep you at a higher mana than the turn cycle. So you just have to be very timely with using it. Otherwise, it'll just turn into nothing. Now, I talked about card advantage. Let me go up to that. Now, our card advantage isn't always card advantage because we're casting a spell and discarding a spell. So that's 2 cards, and then we're drawing 2 cards. So it's more of just card filtering. So I try to go with ones that gave us a benefit. So we have the Windfall, the Seize the Spoils, and the Pirate's Pillage, which are giving us tokens, or treasure tokens. We have Witch's Mark, which is going to give us a Wicked roll. Thrill of Possibilities is at instant speed. You have the Sazakap's Brew, which, if you want, you can gift and get a +2 on a creature. And then we have Quarrel's Inn, which makes us a token. We have the Melded Moxite, which makes us a token. We have Laughing Mad, which has flashback. We have Highway to Robbery, which we can sack a land to instead of discarding, so it's actually card advantage. We have the Ichor Wellspring. We have Grab the Prize, which is, I think I've already gone over. Galvanic Relay. That Storm with this deck, you're going to get a high Storm count, and you're going to keep feeding into it. It's great. Faithless Looting is just always an all-star. And you have Bitter Reunion. With us making all these tokens, we can just have this on the field and then go to haste and attack. Now we do run the exile top 2, so we are running the reckless impulse and where's the other one? Warren's resolve. Where did it go? I have to put that back in there. But that is pretty much the deck. So the main focus is get down your commander. Get down your commander as fast as possible. Get this guy down, and then just start chaining out. Cast your draw, cast your ramp, and as you're doing that, you're pinging. You can cast your creatures to ping more, and then you got your tokens that you're also getting in there that you can attack with. That's the 2 main plans of the deck. Is you're gonna either ping them to death, or you're gonna make a bunch of tokens and just get them with a big swing. Thank you for listening and watching the video. Hopefully I'll be able to make some more of these in the future. So like, follow, subscribe, do all the things. And please comment. If you have any ideas or any cards that I might have missed, please let me know. Throw it in the moxfield or wherever. But have a great one.